Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. Temperature at 80 degrees. A little warm out in the stands. But we've got football, so who cares? That's all we're excited about. And we have to say, as we welcome you upstairs to the booth, Fox went in big on the free agent market because we plucked this guy from the league office. Dean Blandino, the former NFL head of officials, welcome. It's great to have you on the team.
Thanks, Kevin. I could not be more excited to become a part of the Fox family.
I know you just make me feel confident, so if I mess up, I'm just going to come to you. All right, Dean, so obviously with all the rules and things, give the fans a couple things we're going to be looking forward to this year.
Yeah, a couple things to look for this season. The league relaxed some of the rules regarding celebrations, especially after scoring plays and changes of possession. So we should see a little bit more creativity from the players in that area. The second thing is game presentation. That was a real focal point during the offseason. An improved viewing experience for both the fans in the stadium and at home. That means fewer stoppages in play and also less in-game downtime.
We like that. That is for sure. We'll see the instant replay going out to the officials this year. Meanwhile, we go downstairs to the fourth member of our broadcast crew and say hello to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. Well, year 3 for Marcus Mariota. He made some goals this offseason, and he went at it hard. He told us he really wanted to simplify his footwork, get back to the basics, that area needed to be improved upon. He told us inaccuracy usually comes when his feet are out of whack. It leads to poor body position, which leads to poor throws, but he's determined to improve on that this year. I talked to Mike Malarkey about that before the game, and he says, yeah, I can see that in my quarterback already. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. There is Mike Malarkey, third season, second full as a Titans head coach. He was the interim head coach 2 years ago. It was 2-7 when he took over. But he's done a nice job, a 9-7 team last year. There is John Fox. He's got a little bit bigger of a project here. Obviously, he's been wildly successful in this league over his career, but trying to turn around a Bears franchise that hasn't won in a while. The Bears won the toss, but they deferred, and the Titans will receive. And here we go. From Nashville, as Tennessee will start from their own 25. Spanish language broadcast available on both Fox Deportes and by utilizing the SAP on our broadcast. There is Marcus Mariota, and it seems, Charles, in his first 2 years, he just keeps on improving.
He does, and I think the biggest improvement that fans will see is his ability to not just get out of pressure. We know he can do that. But get rid of the football and live to fight another down. His game management skills continue to impress.
DeMarco Murray will start today. I'm not sure how long he'll be in the game. Coming back from a hamstring injury, and he'll get it. This is Murray, left side. Not much. Short game. Murray coming off an outstanding year. Actually led the AFC in rushing, and he came off that season in Philly where he just never fit with Chip Kelly.
I like the word you used there, Kevin, fit, because that's exactly what didn't happen for him. He is more of a back that needs volume carries, right? Big muscle guys up front, and just turn him loose. In Philadelphia, they're asking him to do a few different things that he just is not capable, or I should say, ready to do. And guess what? He found his home here in Nashville.
On second down, they run a reverse to Taywan Taylor. The rookie's got some speed, and he's out near a first down, maybe a half a yard short. That's the rookie, third-round pick from Western Kentucky.
Interesting how they're getting him involved with things so quickly. They have a number of injuries at wide receiver. Here he comes, number 13 in white. Just a jet sweep, simply a college play that he ran at Western Kentucky. And they wanted to get the ball in his hands as much as possible in the early going.
So a third and short. This team on third down was third best in the league last year. They are an excellent, especially on short yardage team. And they'll do a little flip. That's Taylor again trying to get to the edge, and it's close. I don't know if he got it. We'll see what the mark is. So interesting that they give Taylor 2 carries as their wide receiver to start the game.
Looks like they're saying a little bit short, aren't they?
Well, he didn't stretch that ball. The ball was in the wrong hand.
And you're not a natural running back. Sometimes those things creep into your play, right? Because the runners understand. Get the ball out ahead of yourself a little bit. But so far, Taywan Taylor, he's been a number of spots and had the ball, and the Titans going for it. 3 of 3 on fourth down last week against Carolina.
It is Murray. And second effort, DeMarco Murray. He's got a first down for Tennessee. Hey, I know it's preseason, but I still like going for it on fourth down there, CD.
And they love it here in Nashville. Mike Mularkey, the head coach, likes to go for it as well. He has a lot of faith in that big offensive line. But in this play, look at what happens. That line actually gets submarine. Look at Leonard Floyd, number 94. He gets into the backfield and almost stacks it up. Good determined running by Murray. And you see right there, he bounces off the attempted tackle and picks up the first down.
Here's Murray. Little stutter step and diving forward for 3. Tennessee is a little bit like an old school team. They like to run it downhill. They've got 2 runners in Murray and Derrick Henry, who we'll see later, who will really pound the football.
The term that they used last year was exotic smash mouth. And people are like, what does that mean? Well, it's exactly what you're talking about. Running it downhill, establishing the run. But the exotic part is coming this year with the addition of some speed at wide receiver.
Mariota, they'll run it again. 6 plays, 6 run. Murray stacked up. Nowhere to go is Darrell Freeman, a 6-year linebacker who makes the play. So how about these Tennessee Titans last year? Again, they just missed the playoffs. And you look at them, 9-7, first winning record since 2011, but they were not any good in the division, and they haven't been for a while. Why? Well, the quarterback is very, very good, and then they add DeMarco Murray, and 3rd in the NFL in rushing. That's a pretty good combination. They needed speed at wide receiver. They went out and drafted Corey Davis, the 5th overall pick. The problem is he hasn't played. He's been hurt almost the entire camp, and he's not playing today. So that's a concern as we head to week 1 of the season in 2 weeks. 3rd down, 4-man rush. Mariota's going to float one. Incomplete. He was looking for Taywan Taylor. And the Titans will punt this time.
Interesting there, because you end up with 2 guys in the same spot, Kevin. So you're wondering, did the rookie Taywan Taylor in the slot number 13, is he running the wrong route? I don't know, because it looked to me, I'm not sure if he was trying to hit the deep guy down the sideline or Taylor underneath. But remember, Taylor, a rookie, playing a number of positions already in the early going.
Great punt by Kern. And look at that. Talk about directional kicking. And so Chicago will start deep in their own territory at their own 4-yard line. A 55-yard punt and no return as football is back on Fox. And the Bears, well, they've got a whole new quarterback situation. Mike Glennon will take the field first. Last year, these are the guys who called the signals. This year, a whole new group, and you'll see them next. First possession for the Bears after a great punt. They start on their own 4 as Mike Glennon under center. Jordan Howard at tailback. They'll throw it. That's Zach Miller, the tight end. And Miller breaks the tackle. Good fight from Zach Miller, who's out near a first down. And here's Mike Glennon, Charles. Here's a guy that the Bears gave a lot of money to, $45 million. 1 catch. Hadn't started a game in 2 years.
They saw the potential from his rookie year, right, when he started a bunch of games in Tampa Bay. But what they're seeking is consistency at the position. But I think everyone was surprised on draft night, and they doubled down and got Mitchell Trubisky as their quarterback.
Including Glennon, who told us that the other day. This is Jordan Howard. And on 2nd and short, he's got a first down.
You know what that felt like to me was you get Mike Glennon, you evaluate him, and you think he can be your starter. And then the draft comes, and you've fallen in love with a prospect named Mitchell Trubisky. And Ryan Pace, the GM, I think he said to himself and with his organization, that's a kid I believe in, and just because I signed one doesn't mean I turned down another.
Quarterback's hard to come by. You know that. On first down, they will run it again. You know, Jordan Howard is a guy who Bears just kind of lucked out. I mean, Jeremy Langford was their starting back last year, right, Charles? And he got hurt, and then, oh, voila, here's a guy that ended up 2nd in the league in rushing.
Jordan Howard piled up big yardage at Indiana in their spread offense, but I don't think that people evaluated him for the speed and the quickness that he possessed. He's a bigger back. I think people saw him more as a between the tackles pounder, and he can get to the edges.
Howard again. He gets eaten alive. Nowhere to go. Wesley Woodyard on the stop.
I mean, they just overwhelmed them at the point of attack there, Kevin. The defensive front just took care of everything, and that allowed Wesley Woodyard to run through unblocked, clean, as they like to say, and put the tackle on Jordan Howard.
Titans had the second best rushing defense in the league last year. That's no surprise. 3rd and long coming up for Glennon. Blitz. Glennon, near side, has a completion and a first down. Well done. That was Kendall Wright, the ex-Titan, who will move the chains.
Now, Kendall Wright is fighting for a job here in Chicago. He's battling Victor Cruz for the starting slot receiver position. But more important than that, you think Ryan Pace, the GM of Chicago's grinning right now to see that throw from Glennon? He wants Mike Glennon to get off to a great start. He wants him to be the starter in Atlanta against Atlanta on September 10, and he'll need to continue to throw the ball like that.
Well, he had a terrible first preseason game, and that was better even though he threw a pick last week. So looking to add on, as you said. And we got our first flag of the day. Ed Hockley is our
Ball
referee.
start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
So who is Mike Glennon, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. His 5th year in the league. When you look at his history, what he's done, you go back to North Carolina State. He happened to play with a guy by the name of Russell Wilson. Don't know if you've heard of him. Wilson transferred senior year. Glennon then played. And then he was drafted by the Bucs in the 3rd round. And that's where he got his start in Tampa Bay. He took over for Josh Freeman at one point. Started some games first couple of years, but hasn't started in the last 2. And then the Bears say, hey, we like you, so we're going to give you 3 years and $45 million. And now we see how it all works out. He's coming inside Kevin White, who's cutting in and out and zigzagging his way for the Bears. And boy, is Chicago trying to figure out what they have with him.
I think this drive has been terrific for the Bears for a couple of reasons. Number one, Glennon's throwing the ball effectively, sharp, in control. Number two, what you just mentioned, they got Kevin White off with that pass there because he has not played much in his first 2 years, a first-round draft pick. They've got to get production out of him to open up things for the offense.
He had a broken leg each of the last 2 years, only 4 games. That's it. Here's Tariq Cohen, and he's going to pick up a Bears first down. He has been the highlight of Bears camp, as you well know.
Comes in with a couple of nicknames already. One is Chicken Salad, still trying to ascertain the roots of that one. The second one, the human joystick. When you watch the moves and the cuts and the vision that he has and the way he pinballs and bounces off of people and gains additional yardage, he's impressed this Bears staff so much already, he probably won't play much today.
Not bad as a rookie. Benny Cunningham, the ex-Ram, is now in the game at tailback, and they'll fake it. Glennon, a lot of time. Now the pocket converges, firing, and complete. What a dart from Mike Glennon to Cam Meredith. That was a throw. A gain of 28.
A tremendous throw, and how about the catch at the end? And what Cam Meredith did was he became a basketball player there, and he boxed off the defender, Adoree Jackson, the rookie out of USC, put him on his back, kept him there, and reached out and snagged the football. Terrific hands, great body control by Cam Meredith.
I don't know that you could have better coverage either. Jackson was all over him. Howard's back in the game, and he's got it. And Jordan Howard is going to pick up 3 on that carry. Well, I want to go back to Tariq Cohen, though. So, here's a guy from a small school. He's, you always compare the small backs to Darren Sproles, right? Well, GM Ryan Pace saw him today, and he said, normally prospects, you maybe look at like 4 games. He said the tape of Cohen, we looked at his whole season.
That tells you what you've got. Small school, North Carolina A&T, 1AA, historically black college, and also his size. So he has to continue to prove it. Where they might buy it on someone else, maybe not with him so fast.
10th play of the drive, going far side, incomplete. That was Titus Davis. And if the last name sounds familiar to Titans fans, that's because his brother, Corey Davis, is a wide receiver they picked in the 1st round.
And if Titus Davis wants to make the team, he needs to make that catch. Mike Glennon threw the ball in the right spot. He's wide open. He's got to haul that in and turn that into a gain for Chicago.
Mike Glennon, 4 of 5, 58 yards. Obviously should have been 5 of 5. As we get a 3rd down and 7. Glennon with time, lets it fly, complete, Kendall Wright, and another Chicago first down.
Kendall Wright happy, whooping it up with his former teammates with Tennessee. But how about this offensive line for Chicago? Remember, they don't have Kyle Long. He's not in, so they had to revamp. Hronis Grasu is now starting at center. They moved their starting center, Cody Whitehair, to left guard. Look at Glennon. See his eyes? Plenty of time to scan the field and deliver a strike.
Here's Howard, stretch right, not much. Dives inside the 20. Howard's going to pick up 2 before Woodyard came in to make the play. So Glennon, first game, terrible. Second game, improvement. They started this drive at the 4.
And he threw a strike on the first play and hasn't stopped throwing them since. And you notice the offensive line has come along with him. Protection is there. They have confidence in what he's doing right now, and they're battling to keep him clean in the pocket.
13th play of the opening drive for Chicago. Throw it again. He's going over the middle for the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Deion Sims, the free agent ad, the former Dolphin.
Looked like good coverage there by Avery Williamson, number 54, the linebacker. He struggled with that a little bit in 2016 and spent the offseason really working on his game. He and Wesley Woodyard spent some time with speed coaches trying to increase their quickness in pass coverage because Jayon Brown, a rookie out of UCLA, who will hit the field often for the Titans, that's what he specializes in as a linebacker.
Yeah, Brown is number 55, right behind Williamson there. Third down coming up for Chicago. Glennon, blitz, picked up over the middle, caught. It's right inside the 5. $14 yards and a 1st and goal for the Bears.
Plenty of credit to Mike Glennon, of course, but how about that offensive line again? Picking up the blitz as you described, Kevin, and gave him plenty of time, and he read his routes correctly, where the free man would be, and there's Wright beating the rookie Adoree Jackson from USC inside for another key first down.
Well, you talked about the movement. Kyle Long is their Pro Bowl guard. He's recovering from major ankle surgery. They're hoping he's back week 1, but we'll see. So far, they look good, and a timeout is called. Timeout for us here in Tennessee, but Mike Glennon looking strong. All six of them down the line, completing the Bears on the move in Nashville. Quickest commercial in NFL history, Charles. You know, it's the preseason. These things happen.
But you talked with Dean Blandino at the top of the show, and Dean did say less stoppages in play, right?
Right.
There's a great example of it right there. We may have a stoppage, but we're going to stay here and talk about it.
Yeah, less commercials. They're bringing the replay out to the referee on the field. That's Dow Lawkins, the offensive coordinator for Chicago. Second year in that role. He was the quarterback's coach before that. But look at this. 3rd and short, 4th and short, goal to goal. Nobody better in the NFC last year, and that's for a team that won 3 games. So here we are, 1st and goal inside the 5.
You know, normally teams would love to run the ball in here and set a tone, but I think he'd love to have Mike Glennon throw a dagger shot in the end zone and get a touchdown pass.
He will throw it, looking for White on the fade, and waiting for the signal. I think he's got it. There's a flag? No. Adoree Jackson on the coverage. So the ruling is incomplete. Guessing he didn't get the feet down in time, but there is a penalty. So let's wait and see on that.
Number 25. The ball is placed in the end zone. I'm sorry, the foul is in the end zone. The ball is placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
See, Jackson, 25, doesn't get his hands on him at the line of scrimmage and then gets his hands on him late. Well past the 5-yard zone where you're allowed to contact the receiver. See, he didn't get him at the line of scrimmage in the jam, touched him late, and that resulted in the flag. But you notice how they wanted to get Glennon a touchdown pass, get his confidence level up. They took the shot on first down.
And they'll do it again from a lot closer. From the 1. The fake. Glennon going end zone. Touchdown. Deion Sims. What a drive.
Watch to the right. 88 Sims fakes a block and gets into the end zone. Off of the fake for Glennon. Wide open, puts it out there. Sims takes it in, And I think mission accomplished for Chicago. A clean, crisp drive. Mike Glennon threw the ball extremely well. The offensive line protected him well. They picked on the rookie, Adoree Jackson, and then they got the touchdown pass for Glennon to increase his confidence level. Check every box right there.
That was something. 7 of 9 for Glennon, 84 yards and a touchdown. Would have had one more completion, but he had a drop as the extra point is up and good. And so a monster Bears drive, 15 plays, 96 yards, and Chicago has the lead.
Sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, at the moment, all these send Mike Glennon to Siberia articles can be put on pause. That was a pretty good drive to start this game for the Bears.
Really good drive. I think it might be worth noting that when we talk with Chicago, they game plan for this one. You know, in preseason, you don't game plan a heck of a lot, but in this case, they did. And not only did they game plan for Mike Glennon, they went after Adoree Jackson a bunch. What, 5 times they threw at him? 4 different receivers in the first drive. Obvious that they wanted to go after him.
Yeah, Jackson starting at corner today, the rookie. They elevated him that role to see how he would do, so a tough start. Here's Eric Weems on the kick return. Former Pro Bowler, and gets upended out across the 25 by Adrian Amos. And so we'll see this Titans offense one more time after that drive for Chicago took almost 8 minutes. So third preseason game, you likely see the starters at least for a half. That's what we are expecting here today. And DeMarco Murray, weren't sure how much he'd play. Been battling a hamstring injury. He had not played in the preseason until today, but he's going to get out there for the second series. Mariota, quick hitter, far side. This is Rashard Matthews, former Miami Dolphin. And he did not play last week, personal reasons, so just good to see him back.
They needed him in a big way because the receiving core is down a few guys. Corey Davis, you mentioned, the first-round pick, not playing due to injury. Harry Douglas, the veteran, not playing due to injury. Eric Decker, their free agent pickup, not playing as well. So they needed Rashard Matthews back, and he had a nice year last year, nearly 1,000 yards in receiving.
He was their leading receiver, leading receptions with 65. Mariota, fake, try to set up a screen to Murray, and he gets buried. Quentin Demps, part of this Bears revamped secondary, just blew that play up.
Quentin Demps coming over from Houston. Now watch him. He understands play calls. He understands progressions. And look at this. He gets underneath the block because Quentin Spain, 67, was trying to find someone to block. But Quentin Demps, the safety, had already read the play, diagnosed it, and gotten underneath it.
And so a loss of 3, 3rd down and 8. Delaney Walker, number 82, goes in motion. Pro Bowl tight end. Mariota, a lot of time, going to tuck it and run. He can do that well, and he'll go out of bounds. I think Mike Malarkey says, go out of bounds, son. We'll punt. No need to take a hit here in the preseason. And so we'll see Brett Kern, who launched a 55-yard beauty, his first punt. You know, we're used to seeing Taylor Lewan in the middle of things, aren't we?
He's a very social man. Right? He likes to get involved with people, check in on them, chat them up a little bit.
That's one way of putting it.
He also likes to move them in the run game too, doesn't he?
He also can play.
Yes.
Pro Bowl left tackle last year for the first time in the Pro Bowl. Kern to punt it away. It's another lunar lander. My goodness, look at this. It's like the same exact punt down inside the 5.
Would it surprise you that Brett Kern's a 2 handicap in golf?
No.
There you go.
Probably hits it about 320 feet off the tee. 62-yard punt, no return. Mike Glennon back on the field after a great opening drive. Here's the rookie Adoree Jackson, the first-round pick out of USC. Spotlight on him today.
Yeah, getting his first start in the NFL. He had played in the nickel and has done well so far in the preseason. But his first started outside corner, and Chicago took advantage of the rookie on the first drive, targeted him 5 times. I believe had 4 completions.
Yeah. Also a great punt return. So he'll get some work. So here's Glennon in the offense. And give it off to Howard for a short game. Well, the first drive, Glennon, 7 of 9, Charles. Good to see.
He was just very sharp, and he's had every reason not to be. The pressure is on him to keep this job. Mitchell Trubisky is coming and has played well in the preseason. So he could have exhibited a case of nerves, and he did not. He looked like he was firmly in charge of this team, and as I said in that first drive, it's my job to keep.
Final minute of the first quarter. Glennon over the middle. There's Meredith, another completion. And an easy one to Meredith, who's got himself a first down, and he's down and he's hurt. A 20-yard pickup to Meredith for a team that's already has receiver issues. They've got some injuries, and Meredith, their best receiver, returning from last year.
There'd be a lot of concern over this one. They are crazy about Cameron Meredith. Number 81, left of your screen. Watch the cut. That ball's gone before he makes the break. Great timing. And then on the tackle. That's when he got hurt.
Oh, no. Well, a great start for the Bears has just turned really somber. Just awful scene here as it looks like Cameron Meredith is severely hurt. They have the card out for him, and quite honestly, looking at the replay of the break, it's not a good picture. And Meredith, they put the air cast on his leg, and a nice round of applause. And you know, we're not going to show that picture, and that's fine. You don't need to see it. But, you know, Charles, the thing is, a couple things. Best receiver from a year ago. You see already that he's got chemistry with Glennon, and he's a great story quarterback for St. Joseph High School. He's 15 minutes outside of Soldier Field. Like, it's such a feel-good story.
Went to Illinois State to be a quarterback, ended up being a wide receiver, and did a really nice job. And I love what you mentioned about the chemistry, because he was one of the first guys Mike Glennon got with when he got in Chicago, to start developing that chemistry. And we saw it on that pass. That ball was out of his hands before Meredith made the break on the route. And it was right there. And boy, I sure hate to see that. What a terrific year last year. 888 yards, 4 touchdowns. They needed him.
So what happens now?
Well, I think that you may have to switch a few guys around because they're down receivers as well. Marcus Wheaton's hurt. Josh Bellamy's hurt. Victor Cruz may have to play outside a little bit. I mean, we go on. Deontay Thompson might jump in.
Yeah, it looks like he's in there, number 14. And Thompson will get a chance, but they'll run it here. Coming near side. Howard, nifty move, penalty flag, and a nice hit at the end by Jackson. Let's wait and see what this penalty is. Ed Hockley and his crew discussing.
Holding defense, number 90. That's a 5-yard penalty that will be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's not one you see very often, is it, Kevin? The defensive holding of by a defensive lineman, Daquan Jones. Let's take a look. Jones would be to the left of our screen, I would believe. Maybe, is this it here?
That's got to be it.
Right there.
That was Casey. That's Darrell Casey.
Yeah, it was 99, not 90. Darrell Casey holding up the offensive lineman. But you mentioned, Kevin, what will they do without him? One of the things they can also do is use the tight ends more. They have a plethora of players at that position.
So the Bears try to regroup. We've hit the end of the first quarter from Nashville. It's Chicago 7, Tennessee nothing. Back on Fox in a minute. 7-0 Bears over the Titans. Third week of the preseason. NFL on Fox is back. Charles Davis, Dean Blandino, Pam Oliver down on the field, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you aboard. Game one of our double dip today. Bengals and Redskins coming up next. So we start the second quarter. Chicago with the football. And they'll give it to Howard. Room for Jordan Howard, who's got a first down across midfield. And Howard's going to pick up 12 yards. So with the injury to Cam Meredith, I think even more eyes, Charles, go on number 11, Kevin White, who for all intents and purposes is still a rookie.
Well, I guess you can count him as that because he's missed 28 games in the last 2 years, hasn't been on the field very often. He's had leg issues, fibula, broken fibula, ankle, and now they're trying to get him back in form. He even changed his number this year, trying to change his luck from 13 to number 11, which he wore in college.
At this point, anything will work. Fake blitz, Glennon in trouble, and down he goes. Wesley Woodyard got him.
Well, you mentioned it, right? So watch the linebacker positions. Watch what ends up happening here. Woodyard, 59. No one picks him up. He just circles right in and draws a bead on Mike Glennon. And you know who Mike Glennon was looking for on that play, Kevin? Kevin White.
There you go. Kevin White only had 2 catches for 2 yards in the preseason coming into today. He's got 1 for 11 today. Glennon will throw it. Going over the middle to Deion Sims, the tight end, who caught the touchdown earlier. Sims got a 3-year, $18 million deal for these Bears, who have about 7,500 tight ends on the roster right now.
They do, and they'll have to utilize them more with these receivers going down. But back to your point about why they need Kevin White so much, with a team that runs the ball as effectively as they do with Jordan Howard, they need to be able to hurt people downfield in the passing game. And Kevin White's speed gives them that opportunity to do it rather than throwing short passes with tight ends.
Third down and 12. Blitz picked up, Glennon incomplete, a little bit low, and that wouldn't have been enough for a first down anyway. For an injury report, down we go to Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, yeah, pretty much the entire Bears bench got that injury to Cam Meredith was serious, as a number of them just went down on one knee. The Bears just told me that Meredith has suffered a knee injury, but how serious that injury is, we do not know yet. Back to you.
Pam, thanks. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was knee or leg. Either way, it did not look good. And we get more, we will pass it on to you. So the Bears will punt it away. Patrick O'Donnell will do the kicking. Dory Jackson is an electrifying return man. See if he gets a chance. He'll field it inside the 5, and that is usually a no-no, and that's why. Well, he is a rookie, Charles. Still a little bit to learn from the kid from USC. Tennessee football, down 7. Well, Dory Jackson, we showed you, caught the ball inside the 5, and that gets you a meeting with the head coach.
Well, I think it's more, listen, you mentioned that he's a rookie, right? He's had a tough go today in coverage, had a really hard time. And so I think that he got overeager here. He wanted to make a play and atone for what was happening to him on the defensive side of the ball. Instead, he put his team in a tough spot, and that's what the head coach, Mike Glennon, was talking with him about.
The reality about Jackson, though, is his potential is limitless. I mean, he was an offensive threat, a defensive threat, a kick returner at USC, an all-American track performer, so he's got some upside for sure. Tennessee football, 1st and 10. From their own 3, Mariota will throw, and he's got a completion. And that is caught by Tajay Sharp, who is back this week. Hey, college football, it is back, and all starts Friday on FS1. Number 8, Washington taking on Rutgers. Coverage beginning at 7 Eastern. Then, Saturday, it's Maryland against 23, Texas at 11. On Sunday, you can check out Texas A&M. They face off with UCLA at the Rose Bowl. The coverage begins Sunday, 7 Eastern on Fox. Bottom line, college football all weekend long on FS1 and on Fox.
Yeah, the new home of the Big Ten. Fox.
Got some good football coming your way, huh?
Yes, sir.
Is not going to go very far. Jay Howard in there on the stop. Murray's still in there getting some carries. This running back situation for Tennessee is interesting to me because they got 2 guys who are somewhat similar skill sets. And last year Murray got plenty more action than Derrick Henry did.
What it comes down to, because to your point, if they're that good, why aren't they splitting more carries? Head coach Mike Mularkey really trusts DeMarco Murray. It's not that he doesn't trust Derrick Henry, just that he thinks DeMarco Murray gives them everything they want in the run game and the pass game.
Hey. We're good.
Mariota over the middle. Good catch. It is Matthews for a Tennessee first down. And hang on, we got a flag in the backfield, so hold on a second.
Holding. Offense, number 77. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, that's Taylor Lewan, who is a Pro Bowl performer at left tackle, but he'll get you some penalties. He had 14 of them last year.
Here he is, working against Leonard Floyd, last year's number 1 pick. You see him grab a little cloth right there in the inside as Floyd tries to work his way to the quarterback. He'll give him a few penalties. He also set the tone for that offense, though, won't he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, they follow him. He goes downfield and cleans people off of his running backs, off of piles. A very physical, aggressive player exactly how Tennessee wants to play.
Kind of reminds you of another Titans tackle, John Runyon, back in the day, right? Similar type deal. Here is Murray across the 10, out near the 13. And we get a little tempers flaring here. Now a lot of tempers flaring. Multiple flags on the play. Well, 67 is Quentin Spain, their starting left guard. And now Ed Hockley and his crew has to try and sort this out.
You get an offensive line that wants to move people off the ball in the running game, but you got a defensive front in the Bears that I think is underrated nationally. This is a very good defensive front with Eddie Goldman, Akeem Hicks, Jay Howard.
By both teams after the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness offense. It's number 67. Also, personal foul, number 95. Both of those players are ejected from the game for throwing punches. The foul is offset, second down.
Well, why don't we do this? So ejections from the game. And good news is we have our new rules expert, Dean Blandino, in the house. So, Dean, come on in. And the ejection there, I thought you had to have the 2 personal fouls to get ejected.
Well, it's actually 2 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. But if you throw a punch, that's unnecessary roughness, and that's an ejection, and that's what they ruled on the field.
Wow, very, very interesting. So Ed Hockley's crew getting in there immediately, and ejections as you see Spain going on out of there. Dean, thanks for the clarification. And now we get another whistle. And we get a timeout for Tennessee to sort this all out. Tyler Merritt's number 69, first-year player from Wisconsin, is the guy who will take over at left guard. So Tennessee uses a timeout. They trail at 7-0, and we welcome you to the booth. Charles Davis is here. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Good to have you next to me this season, partner.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, okay, Bears had a good first drive, then a tough injury. Tennessee, which was so sharp first team last week, not so sharp today.
Well, they're going against a defense that's actually pretty darn good. We were starting to talk about their defensive front. They're going to make things difficult to move it in the run game, which is Tennessee's bread and butter. So they may have to go via air and see if they get Marcus Mariota untracked, throwing the ball downfield.
See if they get that going here on this drive. You know, you were talking about the Bears defensively up front. They needed some help on the back end, Charles, and they went out, and Ryan Pace, the GM and company, really, they tried to change that. They went out and spent some money and added in the secondary and try and improve in that area. And we'll see if it pays dividends. There you see Marcus Cooper. He's one of the guys that they gave big money to, $16 million. But Demps, he made a play earlier. And Amukamara, who Pam has told us went out with what they say is an ankle injury. Haven't seen him back yet. But the bottom line, an overhaul there.
Very much so. And they have an exciting rookie named Eddie Jackson, who we'll see a lot of as this game progresses at safety. A draft pick out of Alabama.
Well, after all that, it's a third down. Mariota gets some pressure, lets it go incomplete, and the erratic start for this Titans offense continues. And that'll bring on a punt.
And you remember at the top of the show, Pam Oliver talked about the footwork that Marcus Mariota is trying to clean up and get better. Couldn't get his footwork down there because he was pressured in the pocket, so he couldn't step into the throw. Because of the pass rush of the Bears, he had to cut it short. That caused the inaccuracy that Pam described at the top of the game.
And Kern has it blocked. It's sitting there in the end zone. Do the Bears recover? Waiting for a signal. No, they did not get it in time for a touchdown. It'll be out of the end zone. It will be a safety. That's the official rule on the field.
They confer, I would think safety.
The ruling on the field is that the player who recovered the ball recovered it while he was out of bounds. Before he actually had possession, he had touched the white. Therefore, the result of the play is a touchback.
So that's Adam Shaheen, the tight end, the draft pick tight end, second round, who gets to it, but the guy who blocks it is number 74, Roy Robertson Harris, a former outside linebacker turned defensive lineman. He got in through the middle and got a big hand on it, and Shaheen trying to recover it and goes out of bounds.
So we get a challenge play. I think we're going to bring Dean Blandino in, and Dean, maybe you could explain to us why this is not a safety here.
I think the key is it's still a kick. So who put the ball in the end zone? So they're going to talk about this and review it. And I think what they're going to end up with is that this is a safety. But let's see what they do.
So Dean, as he goes to recover the ball there, does he have? They're saying he didn't have possession before he went out of bounds.
Exactly. So if he recovers it in the end zone, it's a touchdown.
Right.
But if he doesn't, it's a safety because it's a kick. The offense, Tennessee.
There's no.
The ruling on the field. The ruling on the field is the player recovered the ball after the ball had gone out of bounds. He was touching out of bounds when he had possession. And therefore, the ball was out of the back of the end zone, and the result of that is a safety.
I was going to say I've never seen
Chicago
the ball go that way and it not be a
challenging the
safety.
ruling on the field.
But it's preseason for everyone.
Exactly. I guess the question would have been, was a touchback ever part of the equation? Could that have ever been part of the call?
No, not in that situation. Again, it's either the punting team putting the ball out of bounds through their own end zone, which is a safety, or the defense recovers in the end zone, which would have been a touchdown.
See, Charles, sometimes when you have Dean here, you just want to make sure you're staying sane.
Yes.
You know, because I said safety, and then you see touchback. Well, maybe I forgot. It's preseason for all of us. Dean, that's why we love having you here. We appreciate it.
You mentioned a free agent acquisition.
It's the best one.
Well spent.
Listen, he and Mike Pereira, that is quite the double play combination, right? All right, so just ugliness on this whole thing for Tennessee, right? I mean, you get a fight and an ejection. The offense looks a little bit lost today. And then you get a punt block and a safety by the Bears, who've got themselves a 9-0 lead.
And right now, if this were a boxing match, and I think a number of us stayed up late last night watching a certain boxing match that took place, if this were a boxing match, Chicago's doing the punching right now. They're the ones on their toes, and they're throwing the shots. Tennessee, I think Mike Mularkey, their head coach, he wants to see if his team's going to punch back because that's what he normally gets from them.
Just so you know, they're still looking at this because what they are looking for is if indeed there was possession in time for a touchdown.
Right.
If he corralled that thing before he went out of bounds or out of the back of the end zone.
Here it is. Adam Shaheen, the rookie tight end out of Ashland. And there he is corralling it. Dean, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be enough to give them possession? Because you see his arm now is already in the white as he tries to fully haul it in.
Yeah, that's the key. What we're looking for is that left hand touching the white before he gains possession of the football. It's really close. I don't know if we have enough here to overturn this. It's very close.
He pulled it in with his right hand and corralled it, but his left hand was moving towards the white. As you said, it was ruled one way. Is that enough to overturn it?
And that's going to be the key. Is it clear and obvious that he had possession before the hand touched out of bounds?
What do you think, Kevin?
I think it's a safety.
The ruling on the field stands. It was a safety.
It was close. I just thought too much. You have to have a better view, in terms of being definitive on that to overturn it. So a lot of shenanigans here in Nashville, Tennessee. Dean Blandino's getting a lot of work already. We're putting him to work. There's been ejections. There's been a punt block.
Better hydrate, Dean. Better hydrate and stretch. Long way to go for us today.
So Chicago, after the safety, will get the ball as Tennessee will free kick it. Not exactly what you expected from a preseason contest today. Just testing everybody. Here is Tariq Cohen back to receive inside his own 10. Cohen. Boom, boom. He gets up to the 30 before he's belted there, and that's where Chicago will take over. Well, how about the Bears? 3-13 last year. Didn't win a game on the road. First time in team history, and that's a long history. That didn't happen. Bright spot, their rookie running back was great. Second in the NFL in rushing, over 1,300 yards. And look, quarterback situation had changed. Jay Cutler retired and then unretired, and then they got rid of the other couple of quarterbacks, so they signed Mike Glennon. They draft Mitchell Trubisky, and they're certainly hoping that one of them sticks. and takes the reins, and it looks like it'll be Mike Glennon in week 1. And Glennon has performed well today. 9 of 12, 107 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy Langford in the game at running back, and he'll get the ball here for his first carry and a gain of 2.
What a difference a year makes for Jeremy Langford. He was the starting running back. Injured an ankle, missed the season. Jordan Howard stepped into his stead and ran for over 1,300 yards. Then Langford comes back in training camp and gets hurt again with the ankle. So he's well behind. They want to see where he is in terms of getting reps today.
They just had an injury to Kadeem Carey, who was also in the mix for some running back reps, but he has a wrist injury. He's out probably 6 weeks or so. So Langford will get some looks. On second down, here he is. Across the 35, and a 3rd down and 5 coming up.
It is preseason, but I expect the defensive coaches from Tennessee would love to see us stop here and try and halt some of the momentum Chicago has in this game thus far. They'd love to find a way to get off the field and get the ball back to their offense. 59th season for their defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau. 59th year in professional football.
On 3rd down, 3-man rush. Glennon, incomplete. A little bit behind Zach Miller, the tight end. Another injury report. Let's go down to Pam.
Hey there, Kevin. Well, the Bears have a big special teams concern. Their one and only long snapper, Patrick Scales. He was carted off the field earlier and has a knee injury. So we see offensive lineman Bradley Sowell. He will take the practice snaps, and he is going to be the man to handle those duties back here.
All kinds of interesting tidbits. I mean, this is not an easy thing. That's why long snappers are so hard to find. So here is Sowell, backup tackle, getting his shot. On point on the first one. Here's Jackson. Going to corral this at the 10. Up the sideline. Takes a couple of sticks. But a pretty good return of 10 yards for Jackson after a 54-yard punt. Nice job, Bradley Sowell. He got the snap there on time. It's been a Bears game so far. 9-zip, they're up. 9-0 Bears over the Titans. 8:42 to go in this first half from Tennessee. Warm summer day. Titans just trying to get their offense going. They've looked discombobulated so far here today. Mariota, you saw his numbers. They've only got 38 total yards so far. Marco Murray remains in at running back. They'll fake. Mariota. Let it go. Far side. Incomplete. And he's been off today looking for Tajay Sharp. And you've been around him a lot. It's interesting. I mean, teammates love him. He's such a low-key type guy. And I got a kick out of this. You asked him today, hey, when you really need to get going, what do you do? Like when you need to really raise your voice, what do you do?
Yeah, he just kind of, occasionally I raise it, and then he goes to Taylor Lewan.
Tapple 77 and say, hey,
let's get going here. You know, that's just his personality, but they respect the heck out of him. He's almost the guy you don't want to disappoint as opposed to him yelling at you.
Derrick Henry in the game at running back now. I believe for the first time today. And the former Alabama star, Heisman Trophy winner, will get it for a short game. Yeah, while Mariota is the quiet leader, Taylor Lewan never afraid to speak up. Their left tackle, who is, he is some character, some player. There you see Henry, part of this two-headed monster for this Titan team. Finished 3rd in the league in rushing. They averaged almost 137 yards per game on the ground.
Those two runners are vital to the success of Marcus Mariota, being able to establish a run game.
Hurry.
3rd down. Some pressure up the middle. Mariota. Delaney Walker goes up and gets it. Might as well go to the Pro Bowl tight end when you're in trouble, and he hooks up for 27.
And you called the pressure in the pocket for Marcus Mariota, but watch Delaney Walker 82 get downfield, and what Mariota notices is the safety doesn't have his head turned around to find him. So he just puts the ball up there over him because Quentin Dempsey can't locate the football in time to go make a play on it. So he counted on his Pro Bowl tight end, and he came through for him.
They'll run it. Henry, good cut. Derrick Henry out to the 45 and a penalty. Very interesting with Delaney Walker, right? As we sort out this flag. Dow Loggins was the OC here in Tennessee a few years ago, and he was a big reason, a big advocate to get Walker here. And at that time, Delaney wasn't.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 77. It's a 15-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
That's on Luan. But at the time, Charles, Delaney wasn't a huge pass-catching threat, but he's been a Pro Bowler the last 2 years at age 33.
Different style of offense in San Francisco. Remember, that's when Colin Kaepernick was running zone reads, right? And you also had Vernon Davis at tight end there. So when they were throwing the ball, he wasn't primary. Came here, became one of the primary targets, and you get the face mask call right there to the right of your screen. You saw the head pull back, Taylor Lewan grabbing him. But Delaney Walker found new life here in Tennessee, back-to-back Pro Bowls.
Really outstanding story. Well, with that, a first and 23. Mariota let it go way over there. He's overshot some guys today. And, you know, interesting off of Pam's report on the footwork. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but he hasn't looked sharp.
To me, he didn't finish that throw. You remember the one we showed before where the pass rush was at his feet and he couldn't finish stepping into the throw, so he had to really throw an arm throw? In this case, he had enough time and pocket. Watch Mariota, number 8. He is not pressured enough not to be able to step into it. He just didn't finish the throw. He released it high, and the ball stayed high. Didn't bring the arm all the way through before releasing it.
Four-man rush. Steps away and then gets drilled. Mariota is taken down by the big guy, Akeem Hicks.
Akeem Hicks had the best season he's had in the NFL. Watch to the left side of your screen, number 96. And he's working on the all-pro offensive tackle, Jack Conklin. Got leverage on Conklin, lower than he was, and pretty much walked him back to the quarterback and spilled the play. Nice strength by Akeem Hicks. Do you have a 3rd and 31 on your play sheet, Kevin Burkhardt?
Yeah, it's called punt.
The old quick kick?
But they'll try it here. Mariota not quick kicking. He'll let it rip over the middle. Nice completion. And boy, look at this. It's more than a first down. Taywan Taylor, the rookie, down the seam and then some. We have a penalty at the end of this play. What I meant to say was 47 yards to Taywan Taylor, no quick kick.
So that was a nice call there. You had that in your pocket. You were just holding out on us.
Well, let's wait on the penalty. Came at the very end of this. Delaney Walker was shaking his head. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, so watch Taywan Taylor getting into the middle of the field, and watch this. The big thing that happens is after the catch.
There was no foul on the play. The play results in a first down.
You notice there were 3 Bears there. Mariota scans it, delivers a nice throw. Excellent pass and a strike. But after the catch, Quentin Debs has a chance to get him, 21. Eddie Jackson, 39, has an opportunity. Doesn't get it. And it takes a long haul to finally get him down. Crayvon LeBlanc finally hauls him down. But how about Taywan Taylor? Not just the concentration on the catch, but the strength after the catch to create extra yardage.
Not often you convert a 3rd and 31, but they just did. Now a little razzle-dazzle in trouble, and Henry lucky to hang on, and he is going to have a big loss. They try to do a little flip to Taylor on the reverse, but I don't know if Henry ever had it.
He did. Listen, that was the spacing of the play wasn't right. Henry wasn't sure whether he was supposed to hand it off or flip it to him. And the timing was so poor that Taywan Taylor was in front of Derrick Henry when it was time for the execution of the handoff. So the whole thing was messed up from the beginning.
It's interesting. That's the 3rd time they've either ran or tried to run Taywan Taylor. So clearly they're working on some stuff with him as an option to use in the regular season. So a 2nd and 16 after the loss of 6. Mariota in trouble, spins away. Nice little magic, going to tuck it and run. And he gets across the original line of scrimmage down near the 22. Oh, that's the other element of Mariota that he could bring to the table.
Escapability, elusiveness, and pure speed when he gets to the corner and is able to turn it upfield. How about him slipping away from Eddie Goldman, unable to corral him there? And once he makes the move, and now he commits to it, see the block right there on the corner? That's well done by Jalston Fowler, number 45, to create some space for his quarterback.
And now certainly a makeable third down after the pickup of 9. 3rd and 7. They get it outside to Henry, and he is down. Good tackle out there. Demps kind of made up for whiffing on the last one.
Really nice tackle in the open field by Quentin Demps. But go back to the run that Mariota made. As you see here, look at this open field tackle. Way more difficult than people know getting that big man on the ground. But Mariota's scramble set them up for the field goal, even though they didn't get much yardage on 3rd down.
It'll be Ryan Suckup, who had an excellent year. Only 2 field goal misses last year. They were both over 50 yards. This will be a 40-yarder to get the Titans on the board. The punter, Kern, is the holder. That one is not going to work. So the Titans offense finally shows some life, but Suckup missed that one wide left. And so Tennessee remains scoreless. 9-0 Bears, 3:14 to go, first half. Back in Nashville, good to have the NFL back on Fox. 3:14 to go in the first half. 9-0 Bears over the Titans. Charles Davis, Dean Blandino, our rules expert in the booth. Pam Oliver on the sideline. And I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you aboard. Game 1 of our double dip here today. And here's Mike Glennon, who's had a good first half, 9 of 13, 107 yards and a touchdown, but has quieted since a great opening drive. A lot of time. Far side's got a completion, but we have a penalty here. That's Howard. Let's see what the flag will be. Byard, the safety, in on the tackle. A lot of conversation on this one.
Illegal hands to the face by the defense, number 36. Well, the quarterback still had the ball. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So that'd be LaShawn Sims, who's had a terrific camp in preseason, was a starter until today. And Kevin White, here he is out here with Kevin White. Kevin White struggling to get off of the press. Part of the reason, that hand to the face. That was the call there.
That'll help. Always does. Here's Howard, gets wrapped up. Nowhere to go. Sylvester Williams on the call. You know, we touched on this earlier in the game, but Bears have a pretty good offensive line, and it could be very good when they get Kyle Long back from a major ankle injury. I mean, sitting, you see him there on the right side, but it's interesting. Cody Whitehair started every game at center last year and was very good. With Long out, they've decided to move him.
Yeah, and we talked with a couple of the Bears coaches about that. Why move your potential all-star center? But they said that moving him and getting Grassu in the game at center makes them better overall.
Knocked down by Carl Klug. You agree with him?
It's one that I've been kicking around, and nice play by Klug there. But when you take that pivot guy out of the middle, the guy that you count on, all the line calls, and he played 16 games last year, I was wondering, did they not have another guard to put in there and backfill until Kyle Long was ready? Well, they wanted Eric Kush to be that guy. He got hurt in training camp. Tom Compton got a start earlier this year. So I think that they feel more comfortable with Grassu there and Whitehair, thinking that overall that's better until they get Kyle Long back.
Line's done a pretty good job today. Here, though, tough task, 3rd and 10. Glennon has time again. Lets it go over the middle, complete, and there is White. Boy, is that good to see for Chicago. White making a good adjustment, and he's got a first down.
And when given time, Mike Glennon is be able to set his feet and deliver strikes. Watch White, number 11 in blue. Works inside, gets a clear-out route from Kendall Wright, number 13, and look at Glennon. Look at the eyes. sees it downfield, delivers in an open target to Kevin White.
Before Sunday's first kickoff, there's Fox NFL kickoff. Start your day with Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Dave Wanstead, Colin Coward, and newest edition Michael Vick, covering all the NFL news, updates, and previews. Begins September 10th. Fox NFL kickoff at 11 Eastern. Look forward to that. Here's the slate of games. We got some good ones, Charles. Eagles, Redskins. You like that? How about Seahawks, Packers? We're going to be in Chicago. Falcons, Bears, the defending NFC champs, against these Bears, trying to rebound after a tough year last year. They looked pretty good today on first down after we hit the 2-minute warning. And as I say that, Glennon throws a grounder up the middle. So there's the jinx. If you're Mike Mularkey, it's preseason, I get it. The Titans have looked, let's just say it, bad today.
This is not what they planned on, obviously, because they game planned a little bit for this game, as Chicago did. But the other part of it is both teams use this as a dress rehearsal for week 1 of the regular season. Practice schedule, going to the hotel, meetings, everything to essay what it'll be like week 1. And this is not the way anyone wants to come out of the gate.
Howard, good hole. Jordan Howard sprinting up the middle, and Howard's going to have a pickup of 8 yards. Howard missed last week with a corneal abrasion. Actually had eye surgery in the offseason.
And look at that hole. I mean, look at that matched up there. Look, Kendall Wright is coming up to try and get a block, and there's no one to block because the hole's already been cleared. This Bears offensive line, tight ends are doing a really nice job. The team that's being most physical today is Chicago, and that's driving Tennessee crazy.
There is. Howard's numbers. Minute 19 to go, first half. Third down. Howard's got it easily. Jordan Howard. This offensive line's getting better for Chicago as the day goes on. Running behind Charles Leno, who just got a new contract extension.
That's a good way to celebrate. Go ahead and keep putting some nice plays on tape, number 72. Watch over to this side of the line. There's Leno, number 72, pulling out. He gets a nice block on the corner and seals it, which allows Jordan Howard to get outside and get upfield. Listen, he was sleeping on an air mattress in Kyle Wong's house a few years ago, and now he's got a brand new contract extension.
I have a feeling he could afford a couple beds now. $38 million later. 1:14 to go in the half. First down. Glennon got a connection. It's Victor Cruz, the ex-Giant, and he's down to the 20.
And I know we've gotten on Adoree Jackson a little bit today, but what he did well there is he tackled him after the catch. He gave up no yards after the catch. It may be a small thing right there on that play, but it's a huge thing when you add it up throughout the season. Don't give up the big plays.
45 and counting. 2 timeouts left for each team. The Bears trying to execute the 2-minute offense. Benny Cunningham in the game, and he's got nowhere to go. Adoree Jackson came in to help on that tackle. And we get a timeout on the field as the Bears call their second. We'll call it 2. Bears try to add on to a 9-0 lead.
In college football, every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
35 seconds to go in the half. 9-0 Bears lead the Titans. Trying to add on here. 1 timeout remaining for Chicago on third down. Glennon locked up again, throwing near side, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Deontay Thompson, just a little short. And it looks like we'll try a field goal for Chicago.
Watch here. Watch 14 coming out of the bunch formation. 3 guys scatter off, and Mike Glennon is going to be upset with himself on that one. The pocket was clean. He could have stepped into that one. He left that one short. That should have been a big completion downfield, and he knew it.
So Bears leave one out there, and Connor Barth will have his first field goal try. 41-yard attempt. Bears have 2 kickers in camp. Roberto Aguayo, who missed his only chance, the former Buck, last week. So looks like Barth will be the kicker for this team. and he connects. So a 12-0 Bears lead with 24 seconds to go in the half. Back from Tennessee in a moment.
Football will stop in the summer. How's that for a flyover stand? Show us that muscle, baby. Did somebody say muscle?
Hey, what's up? Super Kyle here, taking a handoff.
Let's get it. Come on, Randy.
Marcus Mariota, see if he'll get a chance anyway with 24 seconds left in this first half. It's been an ugly one for the Titans so far. Haven't been clicking in any facet of the ball, really. Mike Glennon, we saw him miss a throw there, but this is probably his last action of the day. What do you think?
Overall, exactly what Chicago Bears management, coaching staff was looking for. They wanted to see him kind of seize the reins with this team and have some efficient drives. He gave them that in the first half.
Here's Aguayo who will do the kicking off here. Maybe he'll get the opportunities in the second half. Short kick. Jackson going to take it out. Makes one man miss and another, and Jackson across the 25 to the 27. What's coming up at halftime? Let's check in with our friend Carissa Thompson.
Hey everybody, coming up at half, this guy, the new guy, right? First day on the job, Tony Gonzalez is with us. We're breaking down 10 teams trending up, trending down, and we'll check in on Jay Glazer. Who knows what he's doing, and we're also getting you set for the doubleheader, Cincy at Washington.
That's it.
Okay, guys, thanks. That'll be in 17 seconds from now. So Titans do have 2 timeouts. Got a long way to go from their own 27. Mariota. A lot of time floating it near side. Good catch. A little bit of a high throw, but Trey McBride comes down with it, and he's out of bounds to stop the clock with 11 seconds.
See, McBride just goes up and high points the ball before the defender can get there and make a play on it. That's in front of Kyle Fuller, number 23, the former first-round pick of the Bears. McBride has had a little bit of an up-and-down preseason, but had a big game against Carolina last week, albeit with 1 drop.
2 timeouts, 11 seconds to go. I think you need at least 15 more yards for a field goal. Mariota's going to throw it away. With 6 seconds to go. It feels like it's Hail Mary time right now. Not sure what happened on that one. Walker looked like he was open.
And truthfully, I don't know if you Hail Mary it here. You know, you send Marcus Mariota back, 6 seconds left in the half. Maybe you think to yourself, let's get to the regular season. You know, I understand it if they do it, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did not.
He'll get in the shotgun with Derrick Henry back with him. Good play, the final play of the half. 3-man rush. Mariota coming near side, high again. He's been high on a lot of his throws today, and that should do it for the first half. So an ugly one for the hometown team. It's the Bears 12, the Titans nothing at the break here from Nashville, Tennessee. Halftime show is coming your way. Stay tuned for the halftime report. It'll be Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez coming up right after these messages. Zone, touchdown, Deion Sims. What a drive. So we get set for the third quarter here from Tennessee. 12-0 Bears in front of the Titans. And for Tennessee, a lot of ugliness in that first half. Before Chicago, they did a lot of good things. And when you consider that coming into the game, every eye was on the quarterback competition here with Mike Glennon, who's supposed to be the starter, and Mitchell Trubisky, who we will see here in the second half. I think Glennon did a pretty nice job. What did you think?
I agree totally, and it started right from the beginning. This first throw from the shadow of his own goal line. Sharp, right to Zach Miller, the tight end, got him untracked, and he really looked sharp for the most part. One throw at the end of the first half he'd love to have back. It was a layup. It was wide open. Didn't hit it, but all in all, Chicago has to like what they saw.
But I know Bears fans excited to see Mitchell Trubisky, the #2 overall pick. He's going to get some time, we're told, with the #1 team here in the second half.
Yeah, and the fear was that Tennessee wouldn't have their #1 defense out there, but with the way the first half went, I'd be shocked if Tennessee didn't roll out their starters to start the third quarter and see if they can get some things going. So here's Mitchell Trubisky's opportunity.
Yeah, and I don't think Mike Mularkey was exactly happy at the halftime break, that's for sure, with the way the Titans looked uneven for them in the first half, especially offensively. But there you see Glennon's numbers, had a great opening drive, had a touchdown pass. Did leave a couple out there, but overall, his best performance of the preseason by far.
I thought he looked at more in command in this game of the offense of the team than he had the entire preseason.
Here's Deontay Thompson, who will be back for the return for Chicago. Returned a missed field goal, 109 yards for a touchdown last week. He's got some speed. And he's not returning that one, and they will start on their own 25, and they will do it with a new quarterback. Here comes the rookie, Mitchell Trubisky.
You see the numbers there. His one season as a starter at the University of North Carolina was not on there, as he had over 300 yards rushing as well. So he's an athletic kid, good feet, coming from a spread offense now to a pro style, so he's had to do a lot of work on that, especially starting with calling plays in a huddle. What did he tell us, Kevin? He hadn't called a play in a huddle until he got to Chicago. Since when? Sixth grade?
Sixth grade. I mean, think about that. He said he hadn't huddled. Everything after sixth grade, he was no huddle. He was shotgun. So it's a totally new experience, just like this is under center. And he'll throw it on first down, near side, and incomplete. And I think people at home wonder, well, why is that such a big deal? It's a big deal enough that he told us he practiced in the mirror of doing this, because it's just something that he's not done. And that's really a lot of college quarterbacks today.
Yeah, people do ask that question, what's the big deal? It's a confidence factor. If your quarterback gets into a huddle and can't spit out a play and make you believe that this play is going to work, not likely to happen.
That's what Trubisky's done in the preseason. It was electric week 1. Pretty decent last week, and he's got Howard, who gets hog-tied well behind the line of scrimmage. There's Jayon Brown, a rookie that the Titans really like, 5th-round pick out of UCLA.
And you're seeing a lot of the twos on defense for Tennessee. Watch to the left side. The hole was actually probably back to the inside, right? So he could go there, but instead just takes it outside where Jayon Brown already had leverage. Well played by the rookie out of UCLA, playing off the block and making the tackle.
So the Bears are 4 of 5 on 3rd and long today. This would be a 3rd and 14, but obviously first time with a new quarterback. Blitz. Trubisky stands in, lets it fly a little high for White and incomplete. Stood in against the pressure, but couldn't connect with Kevin White.
A little high on that one, but it's also one that if you want to help your young quarterback out, you go up and get. Kevin White had an opportunity to make a really nice catch. Yes, it was difficult. Yes, it was high, but that's what they want him to go up and do. Go up and get those. Help that offense move.
And so a 3 and out on Trubisky's first series. Remember, they've got a left tackle in there, Bradley Sewell, who is snapping because Patrick Scales went out. Snapping for the first time, we believe, and he's had 2 snaps that have been pretty good. Short kick, Weems. We got a flag. Weems, big hole across midfield, but a penalty, and this will probably come back. And so we'll check on that. So Weems getting a chance to return. You saw Dory Jackson, who will probably be their primary returner, but Weems also has done it his whole career. And now we'll wait on a call from Ed Hockley and company.
During the kick, personal foul by the receiving team, number 24, blocking a player while he's out of bounds. That's 15 yards from the end of the kick, first down.
Down to the sidelines we go with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, as for his Tennessee Titans team, Mike Mularkey did not have glowing reviews. He said it was a total lack of execution in all 3 phases of the game. As for how long the starters will play, he says I'll let you know. Meantime, for Chicago, John Fox, he was really just effusive in his praise for Mike Glennon. He said he played superb and that he benefited from having a total week of game planning. Also, on a bit of a bad note, wide receiver Cam Meredith, it is suspected he has a torn ACL.
Oh, that's just terrible news. Bears leading receiver last year. Penalty on this one. Mariota has a completion. It took a couple bobbles, but it's finally hauled in by Rashard Matthews, but we got a penalty too, so we wait and see. Pam, thanks for that report. And as she mentioned, the starters remaining
offside defense, number 90. That penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
Remember in the first half, Kevin, we were talking about Marcus Mariota not finishing throws, and he was throwing high as a result. Look at this. Stepped into that one, didn't he? See the mechanics? Ball comes off of his hand well. Angles a little bit lower than, and the trajectory is right. And even though it was bobbled, a really nice throw by Marcus Mariota.
And a gain of 26 and a 1st and 10. Movement, no flag. There's a flag over the middle. Incomplete. He had it in there to Taylor. They got knocked away, but Bears may have jumped. Let's see. Crayvon LeBlanc on the coverage.
Offside defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's on Willie Young. So a couple penalties on Chicago, and Tennessee on the move.
I'm going to go back to Pam's report about Mike Mularkey saying, I'll let you know how long the starters are going to play. I noticed when they started on defense, there's a good smattering of second-line guys in there. On the offense, it's pretty much the starters. So that tells you really where his displeasure lies a little bit more after the first half.
1st and 5. It's Derrick Henry. Henry bursting through, and he's got a first down. This team has a running attitude, Charles. We spent some time with Taylor Lewan, 3rd best running team in the league last year, and he brings a lot of attitude to the table. I thought he had a great line as we look at the replay here.
Zone blocking means everyone just takes a step to their left, and whoever's in that hole, you go ahead and block that person. Whatever color jersey you see opposite yours, you block it. That was really well executed. Derrick Henry picked his spot and got upfield.
But on Lewan, that guy, number 77, the anchor of this line, he said, hey, we don't care who you are. I'm going to treat you dirty, and that's the game plan of 10 guys. We didn't include the quarterback there. They've got that attitude. This is Taywan Taylor running again, breaking a tackle. So it's interesting. Taylor has gotten a few running tries here today. That's actually his 3rd carry, and they tried to give him a reverse that failed.
I'd love to know what his head feels like this preseason, because we've seen him run from the tailback spot today. We've seen him run from the slot out wide. We've seen jet sweeps. I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything, and this is a rookie that they're giving the entire playbook to. So there's been a lot of extra study by Taywan Taylor in the preseason.
Titans bring in an extra lineman here in Dennis Kelly, number 71. So they go jumbo. Henry. Ooh, good hit behind the line of scrimmage that time from Christian Jones.
So Christian Jones, 52. Versatile defender, plays inside, plays outside, and look at him, just sees the gap, shoots right through it, and pops Derrick Henry. And it is not easy to get that big man down, and he went shoulder to shoulder with him and knocked over the nearly 250-pound running back.
Titans only 2 of 7 on 3rd down today. This will be a 3rd and 4. Pressure. Mariota in trouble, and down he goes. Willie Young got the sack.
Watch this. Watch Taylor Lewan. He got caught in a stress here. He wanted to block Willie Young, number 97, and he sees the jailbreak inside from Christian Jones and had to pop there. And that, of course, left Willie Young unencumbered to the quarterback, and he gets Marcus Mariota. Hard to block 2 when you're just 1.
Yeah, pick your poison. Running back went out on a pattern, and that was that. So an encouraging drive comes to a halt, and they will punt it away. Here's Kern, who's had a nice day kicking. Except, of course, for the block, which can't blame on him. Here's Cohen. Fair catch. Bears will have it. We'll get to see Mitchell Trubisky part 2 for the rookie come out slinging. His Bears up 12-0 in the 3rd quarter. The highest drafted quarterbacks in Bears history, if you go back, and we're going back to Bobby Lane, 3rd overall in 1948. Okay, who else we got? How about Sid Luckman, 1939, 2nd overall. Bob Williams in 51, also 2nd overall. And now this year, Mitch Trubisky, however you want to go with it, and there's the story behind that. But here is the reason why this is so important, because the Bears, this is amazing. 31 years without a Pro Bowl quarterback. Jimmy McMahon, the last one in 1985, and that is a long time. A good run here from Langford on 1st down. The name thing is kind of fun, right? And when you talk to him, he didn't seem to care, but I know someone who cares what you call him.
Yeah, that'd be his mom, Jean Trubisky, who is spelled Jeanne, and she said people often call her Jeannie, but she wants Jean. And she said, I named my son Mitchell. I would prefer he be called Mitchell.
I asked him what his best buddies call him. He said, if my mom's around, it's Mitchell.
Yeah, Mrs. Trubisky runs a tight ship.
So that's what we'll call him. On 2nd and 2. Handoff. Good break of a tackle there and a 1st down. That looked like that was going to go for a loss. But Langford made a man miss, and he picks up the 1st down.
That's a good, sharp, definitive cut there by Langford, wasn't it? Trying to come back from the ankle injuries of last year in this training camp. Look at that. Put the foot in the ground, cut back inside of Carl Klug, sees the daylight and gets upfield. And look how he finishes the run, gets his shoulder down, and runs through a tackle to gain additional yardage.
Fake the run. Trubisky has some time here, going to dump it off. Langford, foot in the ground, head forward, gets belted out of bounds by Denoris Searcy, shy of the 1st down. What a hit from Searcy, who will be in the mix, likely backup safety for this team.
Starter for most of last year. He will be a backup this year with the pickup of Jonathan Cyprien. But how about Trubisky? Never panicked in the pocket and hit his check down, which was Langford out of the backfield. Great pop by Searcy, but too big of a pickup there for the Bears who pick up a 1st down.
Blitz coming. Trubisky sees it, gets rid of it. Langford gets a block. Langford. And a good gain after Trubisky saw the blitz and dumped it off.
Kevin, I think this young man has pretty decent pocket presence. Watch Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback. Feels the blitz off of the edge. Bryce McCain moves his feet, gets himself an open throwing lane, and gets it out to Langford. He's gone back-to-back dump downs to the running back, but he's created the plays well by staying patient in the pocket, not ruffled at all. And I love that the Bears have kept their #1 offensive unit in, the offensive line, in with a young kid to give him his best look.
The only guy who's not in there right now is Josh Sitton. Will Pales is taking over from him at right guard. That's it. It's the ones in here. Nice Cox. And a good run across midfield for Benny Cunningham, the former Ram. So they told us Trubisky would get a chance with the ones, and he's getting it.
And Cunningham feels right at home here in Nashville. Good Pasture High School. Middle Tennessee State University of Murfreesboro. Watch the cut. Sees it. Look at the vision. And that allowed the block to occur well for him. What he did was he set up the block well from his offensive lineman by making that cut and having the lineman swipe the defensive lineman and push him out of the play.
Go, Mitchell, go!
Play clock at 2. You heard someone from the side say, Mitchell, go. He was a little late, and they have to use a timeout. Dowell Loggins, the offensive coordinator. All part of the learning process. Timeout, Chicago. 22 to go, 3rd quarter of this 3rd preseason game. Mitchell Trubisky, 2nd overall pick this year, 2nd series of the game for him, in there with the Bears' first team. Oh, stumbles, dropped the football, now he'll step on it and recover. Look, he's a rookie and still learning some things. We got to go back to this last play for the timeout. Dowell Loggins trying to get his attention to snap the ball. That's actually not it. Maybe we'll get it after this. This is the last play.
Yeah, he just, as you noted, just stumbled coming out from under center trying to get there. And remember, he didn't play under center in North Carolina. One more time since what, the 6th grade? Well, Dow got his voice heard, didn't he?
You know what I love? I love that Dow also knows to call him Mitchell. Mom's watching.
I told you, Mrs. Trubisky runs a tight ship.
2nd and 15 after the mishap on the handoff. Back to throw. Lofting it near side. Almost intercepted. LaShawn Sims got his hands on, couldn't bring it home.
Not many people talk about LaShawn Sims, 2nd year now out of Southern Utah, but he's had an extraordinary offseason and training camp. Was a starter until today, and this is one of the reasons why. Takes care of business quietly, goes through his assignments, but understands how to play the game. If he was able to come down with that football, it would have been a spectacular play.
So another 3rd and long for the kid. Trubisky just turned 23. Last Sunday was his birthday. 4-man rush. Pressure. Steps into it near side. A little high, but Thompson hauls it down. However, he's going to be shy of a 1st down. We'll see if they go for it.
I would like to see them do that. Up 12-0. Preseason game. Young quarterback. Give him an opportunity and give this offense an opportunity to gain a little extra confidence. Go for it here. You even got field position on your side. You're on the plus side of the 50.
Why not? And that's what they will do. Fourth and a long one. Play clock at 2. Not going to get it off. And there is, unless they got a timeout from the sideline, that's a delay. Let's see. Still haven't seen a signal anywhere. Heard a whistle.
Go. There was not a timeout called before the delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Okay. So some learning moments on that drive for the young quarterback.
Well, it seemed like they were setting up to see if they could draw them off sides, but there wasn't a lot of time to get into all of that.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of a, I'm not going to say a botched attempt, but one they didn't get to exercise fully.
And so a Bears punt coming up here. Tell you what, Sowell's done a heck of a job snapping. And this punt out of bounds. See where they mark it. Move it right around the 10. Bears 12, Titans nothing here in the 3rd. Trubisky, little combo with his OC. Football's back, and all this month the NFL celebrating youth and high school football players and coaches at all levels through its Play Football initiative, along with USA Football. Play Football focuses on giving youth players a safe, rewarding, and exciting experience on the field. Visit playfootball.com to get in the game this season. Now she is having a good time here today. I love it. Good day for the kids. 80-degree summer day in Nashville. Weather's been great here. Usually at this time you're talking 90s and high humidity. It's been fantastic the last few days. But the Titans haven't given anything for the home fans to cheer about here today, that's for sure. 12-0 Bears. 5:26 to go in this 3rd quarter. Along with Charles Davis, Dean Blandino, Pam Oliver on the field. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you with us here this afternoon, and they will run it. It's Henry. Left side, nothing doing. Dan Scuda in on the play. Ex-49er, ex-Jacksonville Jaguar. And Charles, as you pointed out, and as Mike Mularkey told Pam Oliver, I'll let you know when the first team offense is done. They're not done.
I don't think any of this first team offense, when they left the hotel today after their last meeting, envisioned playing this long into the 2nd half. So that tells you Mike Mularkey is not a happy head coach.
Henry looking for room. He's got it up the middle. Good run. Derrick Henry out to the 20. And he's going to pick up 9 yards on the run.
He has good vision for a big runner. He doesn't just rely on his size and his bulk. See how he sees the hole, plants a foot, and gets upfield, gets vertically up through the hole, and then reaches out to gain every additional inch. Really improved this offseason. His running backs coach Sylvester Croom thought he had a great offseason.
3rd and 1. Henry again. Why not? First down. And still going is Henry, churning his way to the 26. The Henry picks up 7, and that'll move the chains. And you know, Charles, about Henry, you could say a lot of things. Obviously, he was a star in college at Alabama, but I was looking, as we look at the replay here, I was looking at his high school numbers. Okay? Now, look,
you checked and rechecked.
I did, because I had to read it a few times. You know where I'm going. There are a lot of guys that have huge high school numbers. But, okay, Derrick Henry in high school. This is Yulee High School in Florida. He ran for 4,261 yards and 55 touchdowns. That's 328 yards a game per game. I mean, what is that? Is Mariota throwing tipped and incomplete? Yes, I reread it 3 times because I couldn't believe it, to answer your question.
Yeah, and former Titan V.W. Webb almost got an interception. But to go back to what you're talking about, I live in the state of Florida. So when Derrick Henry was piling up that yardage, people were trekking to his games. Like, people, when are they playing? I got to see this kid. They were having trouble getting games. Okay, they were a lower classification school. That those classifications, like, well, we're not playing you guys. Not with him. They were trying to go higher and higher classifications in order to get people to match up with Derrick Henry.
Well, whoever they played, he steamrolled, apparently. We'll get a penalty, and Henry here looks to bounce it outside and gives a stiff arm to Webb. That may be coming back, as that flag came just as a snap. Well, the indication actually on Chicago.
Offside defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
Lamar Houston trying to round back into form. 2 ACL surgeries in the last 3 seasons for Lamar Houston. Trying to get back to full strength as an outside linebacker. And Derrick Henry and this Titans offense trying to put together a good drive so they can finish with a good taste in their mouths.
It's Jonnu Smith, the tight end, number 81, the rookie in motion. On 2nd down, they'll throw over the middle, and they've got good. Hooked up, it is Matthews into Chicago territory. And now the Titans offense moving after a 23-yard gain.
And I think this drive shows us the Titans offense at its best when they're able to run the football, establish the run, then you can go play action with Marcus Mariota and find receivers downfield. And Rashard Matthews finished last season with over 100 yards in 5 of his last 6 games, trying to get off to a fast start in 2017.
And they're banged up there. The number 1 pick, Corey Davis, is out. Eric Decker, who's been a sturdy receiver, over 50 career touchdowns, he's out. They should have some depth. First down. Mariota steps up. A little shovel lateral type thing to Henry. Breaks a tackle. Henry gets a block, rumbling inside the 20. But hang on. There's a flag. Back at the 44.
He might have been past the line of scrimmage when he had the forward pass to Derrick Henry. It wasn't a lateral, it was a shovel forward.
But it really ruined a nice highlight, Charles.
Yes, so line of scrimmage would be, and right there he's approaching being past it, and that's what they're discussing.
Yeah, it was on the 46, I think. Yeah,
there was no foul on the play. The quarterback still had part of his body, a foot, behind the line of scrimmage. And by rule, he's not beyond the line of the pass until his entire body and the ball are beyond. The result of the play is a first down.
So to understand the rule fully, it's not if part of your body's over the line, your whole body has to be over the line. So if any part of your body's back at the line of scrimmage, then that's a legal play. And that's what Ed Hockley was explaining.
Got it. Good call, Charles. Good call, officials. First and 10. A lot of time. Mariota lofting end zone, incomplete. High and away for Matthews there. Second down coming up. So Matthews was out last week. Charles showed you he had quite the finish to last season. Signed a 3-year, $15 million deal coming over from Miami last year. Fake to Henry. Mariota, pressure coming. He's going to loft it again for the end zone. Tell you what, Marcus Mariota has really overshot a lot of wide receivers today. I mean, everyone has a bad day, but he doesn't look right.
I'm not sure on that one if he thought that he was covered and he threw it away.
Got it.
Because I thought that in order to get that one in, he would have to drive that one as opposed to loft it. So I think that, I'm wondering if he saw the coverage and said, okay, I don't have it. I'll just throw it over the end line so I don't get an interception.
So there's Mariota's day, 10 of 19, 181. A lot of that 181 was on a 47-yard hookup. On 3rd and 10. He's going to throw it over the middle. McBride makes a nice catch, but he's shy of a first down. He's going to be about a half a yard to a yard short here. And I would assume Mike Mularkey goes for it. Let's see.
Watch McBride, number 10 in the slot to the left side of your screen. Runs on Nick Kwiatkowski, the linebacker. Just a little option route. Gets away from him. Ball's delivered. But as you noted, Kevin, shy of the first down sticks.
Coach Mularkey gonna go. Final minute of the third. 4th and 1. Henry flags. Henry, and this play is not going to count. It's blown dead. And that means it's coming back, and it's on Tennessee. And Mike Mularkey about to blow a transmission right now.
The foul stopped the play before the play was run. Neutral zone infraction, defense number 99. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Lamar Houston got his 275 pounds in motion early. Ball got snapped. He was trying to get back. So it was a tough one there, but anyway, Tennessee benefits from the call.
Usually, if there's not contact, that will not always be blown dead. It's the discretion of the official. Nonetheless, here we go. Titans knocking on the door. It's Henry. Inside the red zone, the Titans are as good as they come, as this may be the end of the third quarter. They were 72% scoring touchdowns when inside the 20. That was the best in the league last year. We'll see if they can continue that when we come back. End of 3 quarters from Nashville. 12-0 Bears. Titans knocking on the door. We start the 4th quarter. 12-0 Bears. Titans trying to punch it in. This is what we went into the 3rd quarter on. They were the best team in the league last year, scoring touchdowns when they got in the red zone.
And they need to finish this one with a touchdown now to put a little salve on what's been a really tough day for them offensively. And you remember in the first half, we talked about Mike Glennon, get his confidence up, throw a touchdown pass. Dow Loggins dialed that up for him, right? I think this Titans offensive line, I think they want to run the ball in and reestablish their physicality.
Well, they got Derrick Henry back there and a 2nd and goal from the 3. They'll shuffle it. Henry with the cut, and he's in. Touchdown. As you were saying, Charles Davis?
I don't think the film session will be pretty or they'll enjoy the heck out of it. But this will help them say, this is what we're looking for, guys. This is who we can be. This is who we are. Let's get back to that full time. And
so that's got to feel good on an otherwise lackluster day on offense. That was That was a good drive featuring Derrick Henry, who punches it in from 3 yards out. 11 play, 90-yard drive, and the Titans on the board. Still trailing Chicago 12-7, but that run game pretty good. Derrick Henry's 3-yard touchdown run, a 90-yard drive for the Titans, who kept their first team offense in the entire third quarter. And then Taylor Lewan. Listen, this guy is a guy you love to have on your team, and also a guy you love to talk to, because, boy, we spent time with him, and it was a combination of fun, laughs. But as he said, Charles, I'm not out on the field telling knock-knock jokes. I have my fun, but out there I want to be the best left tackle in football, and he certainly won them. Whoa! A bounce here off of Benny Cunningham, but he keeps it in the end zone, and they'll start from the 25. On a much more serious note, I want to remind you that you can help people affected by Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 90999. By doing that, you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. The pictures already today awful. That storm is supposed to be there and just squat there till Wednesday. It's a terrible situation. And the Titans donating to this cause $25,000 this weekend, which is outstanding. Hopefully you can join in and help too. Here's Trubisky still in there for Chicago. He's going to sling it out to Daniel Brown, his tight end, for a short gain.
This is a nation that tends to take care of its own.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll just be the Titans. They'll be donating. Be the entire NFL, I'm quite sure, and plenty of the rest of us in addition.
Yeah, scary pictures this morning. We send our prayers, obviously, to those down in Texas dealing with that. There's Trubisky's numbers, playing in his third series so far. And we get a whistle.
New offensive line in as well.
False start offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
That's Tom Compton. You're right. Backups are in now. They kept the ones in with Trubisky initially. New running back, too. That's Josh Rounds, number 37. He's a rookie from Tulane. There's been some flags in this one. We had a couple of ejections earlier. We had a block punt that was a long review. It's been interesting, to say the least. Second down. Trubisky fires, and he's got a completion. Over the middle, it's Titus Davis and a first down.
And in an odd twist, don't be surprised if he has better timing with this group of receivers than with the starting receivers, because most of camp, Mike Glennon's worked with the starters. Mitchell Trubisky's worked with the 2s and the 3s. So he develops better timing and better quality with those guys because of repetition.
They'll run it here. This is Rounds. Makes a move outside, and he goes forward near the 45. We get a flag again. And on that note,
There's no foul for holding on the play. Second down.
Okay. On that note, Charles, you just tuned in. Cam Meredith, who's Bears' best returning receiver, Pam at halftime reported he's got a torn ACL, and so that means he's going to be lost for the year. So you spin it forward. Trying to see who could step up here with some of these younger guys.
Well, they drafted Kevin White to be that guy. He hasn't been able to do that because of injury. Has to be now. There's no other option for him. He's got to step up and be the #1 receiver that the Bears drafted so high a few seasons ago.
180.
Trubisky, that's the first down. He's got a completion to Brown, and that will move the chains. More on injuries. Let's go down and say hello to Pam.
Well, hey there, Kevin. Boy, it's been a costly day on the injury front where the Bears are concerned. You talked about Cam Meredith with that torn ACL. Remember Prince Amukamara in the very first quarter, he suffered an ankle injury. The long snapper, Patrick Scales, he's got a knee. Leonard Floyd, he went in and out of the lineup. He's got a foot injury. And one of their key backup linebackers, Dan Scuda, he's in the concussion protocol. So this is maybe a preseason game, but boy, it's proving costly so far.
Wow, damn, that's not great. A nice little run here. As going to look at Josh Rounds. So there's some concern, obviously, with the Bears injuries, and Mukamara's been banged up in camp and then skid. You never want to lose your long snapper. Those guys are hard to replace.
Well, they certainly are. Here in Tennessee, Bo Brinkley, their long snapper, has a groin injury. So Ryan DeSalvo's had to fill in the last couple of weeks. So they understand. They feel the Bears' pain in that regard.
12-7 Bears lead on the move with Trubisky at the helm. Running to Rounds, and he is smacked. It's still going. I thought they may have blown the whistle there. To see where they put him. Brendan Trowick was there on the tackle for Tennessee.
Somewhere Conor McGregor is saying, see, I was still up too. Why'd they stop it last night? I was still up. And right there, Rounds is like, why'd you blow the whistle? I was still up.
You're restarting a whole controversy this morning. We thought we left that on the table last night.
Well, when we walked into the stadium today, at least 2 players said, hey, did you watch the fight last night? So I don't think curfew was totally in effect for this preseason game.
No, it wasn't.
Because they watched it.
Not sure what the discussion on the field is here. Guess
The
we'll
runner's
find
forward
out.
progress was ruled was stopped. Second down.
So Rounds thought he was still going. The officials thought otherwise. That goes down for his nice tackle there for Tennessee. Sit up.
Trubisky on the fake's going to let it fly and let it fly deep. He's got a man, and he's got himself a touchdown. Tanner Gentry. 45 yards and a strike from the number 2 overall pick.
In pregame, we talked with the offensive coordinator, Dal Loggins. Now watch the protection that Trubisky gets here from this offensive line. Look at that. You talk about no one around. That's throwing from the rocking chair right there for Trubisky. And he hits Gentry, the undrafted free agent out of Wyoming, for the big shot. But we talked to Dal Loggins in pregame. We asked about Tanner Gentry. What did he tell us? That he is a straight-ahead, vertical guy who can get upfield and make the big catches down. He said he tracks the deep ball really well. How's that for a scouting report?
I think he was right. That's a nice run and catch, a nice throw. And a touchdown for Chicago. Here's Aguayo, who will try the extra point, and it's up, and it is good. So a 45-yard bomb from Trubisky to Gentry, and the Bears add on to their lead, make it 19-7 here in the 4th. Well, preseason football continues here on Fox. Up next, the Bengals hit the road, take on the Redskins. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will have the call. They're getting ready. Aaron Andrews, of course, on the sidelines. Mike Pereira breaking down the plays, all the rules. Coming up next, only on Fox. NFL back on Fox. And boy, does it feel so good. And I know what feels good for Mitchell Trubisky. That would be a bomb for a touchdown, which he just threw. So the Bears extending their lead, 19-7. What also feels good for the Bears has to be the performance of their starter today, and that's Mike Glennon, who is now downstairs with Pam Oliver.
Yes, I am here with Mike, and I have to tell you something. I was talking to John Fox at halftime. I asked him to describe your play, and the word he had was superb. I mean, that's effusive praise, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a good job by our offense. All week, having a game plan and studying our opponent, I felt like it really paid off. And that first drive, we had the ball on the 5 or 6 yard line, and we were able to go 95 yards. So that was a really good job. All the guys up front, receivers made plays, but it was definitely a good start to the day.
You haven't had a smooth path to where you are today, and even now people are saying, should he be the starter? I don't know if he should be the starter. How have you kept out all the noise?
Just stay even keel, and that's kind of just my personality, to kind of just go with the flow and just control what I can and keep working hard. So that's the approach I've taken.
Is there some awkwardness there, real or imagined, in terms of just being who you were, coming in, paid that highly, and then bringing in a quarterback to everyone's surprise in the first round?
I think they've done a really good job managing that. I mean, obviously it's a unique situation, but between the organization, me and Mitch, I don't feel like it has been awkward.
I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
My neck is killing me. Let's go back to you, Kevin.
Well, you know, Pam, you're no shorty, but Mike's 6'6". I understand why your neck is killing you. He is a big guy. Matt Castle's in there for the Titans at quarterback now, and he gets it knocked away. Look, we were talking to Glennon yesterday, and, you know, Pam asked him about it there, but I thought he's been very, look, it's hard put in the position he was put in to sign a big deal. And, oh, hey, they're drafting a quarterback. That's very hard to deal with, and I think he's handled himself pretty well.
Second time for him.
You're right.
Because it happened in Tampa as well. But I think the one in Tampa he saw coming because he had the entire offseason and the buildup to know that they were going to draft Jameis Winston. Here, I think it was a major shock to his system when they drafted Mitchell Trubisky.
That's a great point. Second down and 10. Deion Bush him on the hit on David Fluellen. So there is Matt Castle, who has been around this league for a long time, 13-year veteran. And there are, I guess, some questions of whether or not he'd be the backup quarterback, and he put that to rest last week because he was awesome last week. So that's that. He'll be backing up Marcus Mariota, who you see right there.
Yeah, the Titans did say it was a legit competition between himself and Alex Tanney to be the number 2 quarterback, but I think you're exactly right. 8 of 13 last week. He assumed control of that number 2 job.
Third down. Pressure is picked up. Castle incomplete. He is going for Jonathan Krause, who went to Vanderbilt, first-year player. But he overshoots him in Tennessee. Will punt the ball away.
Matt Castle had off-season thumb surgery, and he's really a little more than a month back operating. You saw the wrap there on his right thumb that he's playing with and trying to throw the football. I think that could wreak a little havoc with his accuracy as he continues to heal.
So Kern will punt it away. That's going to sail out of bounds somewhere around the 10-yard line. And that's where Chicago will take over. Up 19-7. Back in a moment. There are the Bears quarterbacks. A lot has been made of it. Glennon, the big contract, told he's going to be the starter. Performed well today. Mitchell Trubisky, number 2 overall pick that surprised even Glennon. But there's a reason why they took him number 2. Kid can play. He can throw the ball. 45-yard touchdown. That's the numbers of what they've done today. And Trubisky is still in there for Chicago. Up 19-7 on Tennessee. Under 9 minutes to go in this contest. They are going to run it. Run some clock here. Trubisky, we talked about it. He's still learning. He's still so green. So many things different. Here's also something I think has got to change. He's currently still living in a hotel.
You mean he hasn't done the apartment thing yet? They just broke camp. Right?
That's what he told us.
They just broke camp.
Said, you know, Mitchell, at some point, you got to get a place. He said, I know, but it's hard. I haven't had a lot of time. So, someone find Mitchell Trubisky a place to live, please. I think he's going to be on the roster.
Think he'll be okay?
I mean, I'm going out on a limb.
But he also did tell us, he said, I am the type that takes a long time. He said, I'm the type that thinks a lot about big decisions. So he's got his mom helping. I think he's been through 2 realtors already trying to figure this whole thing out. But how about that catch there by Adam Shaheen? Right? 2nd round pick for the Bears. Tight end out of Ashland, who had been a Division II basketball player before turning to football. I love what Dal Loggins told us in pregame. He's just learning how to catch the ball in big stadiums with crowds. He didn't have that before.
Said Ashland, it was just a bunch of trees in the background. 3rd down for Trubisky. 5-man rush. Steps up. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He shows the legs, and he's got a 1st down.
Watch the vision of Trubisky. We talked about his patience in the pocket earlier. And look at him. He went through his progressions. He was not a one-look-and-go guy on that play. He went through the progressions to see if anyone was available. once he determined the answer was no, that's when he hot-footed it out of there.
You know, I guess you won't know for sure until you look at the film, but it certainly looks like he's gone through his progression pretty well today, right?
He seems awfully calm in the pocket for a rookie.
On first down, throw it again. Coming near side, he's got a completion to Davis, and Titus breaks one tackle. He's going to knock down about the 33, pick up 5.
And remember, for Mitchell Trubisky, a lot of this is new in terms of calling plays, right? Huddling up, making sure the guys have their focus on you. Audibles at the line of scrimmage, because in college those were called from the press box and relayed down, and then the whole team saw it and they changed up. And then taking a snap under center and doing a 3, 5, or 7-step drop and throwing the football. A lot of newness for him that he's starting to get the hang of.
Langford gets the carry, penalty flag, and Langford going to be a little bit shy of a first down, I believe, but we'll see what the penalty is. So this is interesting, right? Trubisky's, as we stay with their young quarterback while Ed Hockley tries to figure this out. That's Dow Loggins, the OC. There's Trubisky. His favorite player is Walter Payton.
Illegal formation offense, number 76, was on the end of the line, uncovered. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And why did he pick Walter Payton as his best favorite player?
You're saying, come on, he's just a Bear now, so he's only 23 years old.
And he's from Mentor, Ohio. Why Walter Payton?
He said when he was a kid, he was in the library and he was looking to pick out a book, and he picked out one on Walter Payton. And he found out about him as a player, as a person, and he loved him. So he said that. He said his dad was a Dolphin fan, so he also was a Marino fan. I mean, that's symmetry, right? I mean, you read a book about Walter Payton as a kid and when you're young, and now you're playing for the Bears.
Little did you know, right?
Pretty good.
Best part is he picked up a book and read it. I love that.
Also true. No iPads at that point, I don't think. Who knows? Incomplete there. And a third down is coming up. The kid's got a smile on his face.
See how he handles the pocket again. Free rusher coming off the edge. That's Josh Caraway, number 44, the rookie out of TCU, who did a really nice job of pulling off the quarterback when he got back into the pocket. Didn't take the big hit at him.
Third down and long for Trubisky. 4-man rush. Has time. Steps into it. Near side, another completion to Titus Davis. Now he's looking better and better.
Once again, I'm trying not to go overboard here, but he's impressive. And the reason I say that is good pocket formed for him. Offensive line did a nice job, but he took the time to go through the progressions downfield. Watch him. As he goes back, he does a good job with the offensive line. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. And finds his guy open out there, Titus Davis.
Langford. And that got stacked up pretty quickly in the backfield. He had nowhere to go.
That's a heck of a play by Josh Caraway. He stacked that up right out of the gate and helped with the tackle. Oftentimes the first guy there doesn't get credit for the tackle or doesn't get credit for the play. But Caraway, he gobbled up both. Forced it on the run and then helped finish it off.
4:40 to go in this one from Nashville. Second game of our doubleheader coming your way. Bengals and Redskins in our nation's capital. Joe Troy and Aaron, Mike Pereira on the call there. And that's not going to be much for Josh Rounds. I'll tell you one thing. Whoever the Bears go with, it's pretty easy to see why they drafted this kid, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. He's got a good presence about him and a great competitive spirit.
And his team's up 19-7. On Fox is a new Marvel series set in the X-Men universe where an ordinary family discovers their children possess mutant powers and must run from the government. If you're an X-Men fan, you'll love The Gifted. Premieres Monday, October 2nd on Fox. I will be watching that. So we're watching Mitchell Trubisky here do his thing. 3rd and 12 coming up. Blitz coming. He sees it, steps away, keeps the play alive. Fryers complete. Oh, dropped. Victor Cruz, usually reliable, just couldn't bring it in. And instead, the Bears will punt it away.
We talked about how cool he is in the pocket and comfortable he appears to be. Feels the pressure, escapes, and as you noted, Kevin, kept his eyes downfield to keep the play alive. A lot of quarterbacks get ruffled in the pocket, their eyes come down, and they're just looking for an escape hatch to run. He kept his eyes downfield and found an open target, and Victor Cruz just didn't haul it in.
Bears will punt it away. With 4:08 to go. Weems is back. Weems makes a man miss. And he gets it up to the 24. So, Charles, let's look around the NFC, see some of the storylines in the league that's coming our way. How about the Falcons? Super Bowl hangover. It's a tough one, down up 28-3. We've got them week 1 in Chicago. We'll find out. NFC East, and the Cowboys, you would think, are the elite class, but I think there's a lot of good teams in that division. Who wins it? Packers with another Super Bowl appearance. We'll find out. They've been close in some title games. They haven't been able to get over the hump. And the Buccaneers, are they ready for prime time? And look, they've been the subject on Hard Knocks this offseason. They're fascinating to me, just to see if they can make that jump.
And we're always looking for those teams to see if they will make that jump. This Tennessee team is one of those teams that we're talking about. Can they make the jump? Both the Buccaneers and Titans were 9-7 last year, and those two quarterbacks will always be linked because they went 1-2 in their draft. Jameis Winston 1 for Tampa Bay, Marcus Mariota 2 to Tennessee, so they will always be in the same conversation.
I thought that Mike Glennon was really interesting talking to us the other day, or yesterday, I guess it was, about Jameis Winston. As Castle's incomplete. You know, he says he learned something from Jameis Winston, and you know, you're thinking, okay, how is a guy who's been in the league for 5 years learning something from a rookie at the time? He said, the way he engages his teammates.
Yes, because that's not Mike's personality. Mike's a little more of the stoic guy. And you were with me yesterday, and Pam was there. And what did I tell Mike? I'll wait for this play to finish, but I'll tell you what, you know, I told Mike something years ago about that.
Which was? As a completion out across the 25 to Jennings. What'd you tell him?
Well, at the Senior Bowl that year, Mike's talent, we knew it was there. He ended up being a third-round draft pick. He had a nice career at NC State, but he's so stoic and such a quiet leader. I told him, I said, in my opinion, you get to the NFL and you're dealing with a bunch of men, Mike. Take an acting class, a drama class, a public speaking class, something to be more expressive and get yourself out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And he's more like that now. But it's interesting that he told us that Jameis Winston, watching him as a rookie, helped him get to that level. And I hit him in the chest and said, well, you didn't even listen to me. I tried to tell you that 5 years ago.
Jameis Charles, it's a shame.
Yeah, I don't think I rank.
He blew you off.
I don't think I rank in that category.
Oh, listen,
I understand
you rank right up there. He just didn't listen.
I totally get it, but I'm happy for him now because he has been that #1 quarterback for the Bears in the offseason workouts, leading the team in preseason, and he did it again today where he acted like the natural leader that this team needs him to be.
As far as those other storylines, yeah, I know Atlanta's going to have a tough mental hurdle.
They've got everybody back.
I think they're loaded.
They're loaded.
And I love Dan Quinn and Matt Ryan leading that team.
I think Dan Quinn will handle this with his team very well in terms of what happened in the game, because the way that game finished, a lot of that team will look at him with an arched eyebrow, won't they? What did we do? Why didn't we do this? And I'll bet Dan Quinn met that head on and probably has that mostly behind them now. And that's a big deal for them because they've got everyone back.
Yeah,
they're ready to roll.
I agree. We'll see them in Chicago week 1. Looking forward to that. 1st and 10 for Tennessee. Castle eludes. Castle runs, and he's got himself a first down. You know, Charles, as they're going to rush it to the line of scrimmage now, Tennessee's trying to get some points on the board with 3 minutes to go. Get this team in hurry-up mode, down 19-7. And he goes down, so does the ball. It's loose on the ground. Who's going to pick it up? bouncing around. I think Chicago's got it. They do.
Don't forget, a lot of people still trying to make this team, and one guy who you would expect to make the team and still out there playing now is Lamar Houston. Coming back, trying to knock off the rust after 2 ACL surgeries in 3 years. He gets to Matt Castle in the pocket and pops the ball free. There's Houston right there. Ball comes free. And now the scramble. Looked like Kelvin Shepard, who they just picked up, had it first, but he didn't come up with it ultimately. But see the left hand right there? Breaking the ball out and creating the takeaway for the Bears, something that they want way more of this year.
They only had 11 of them last year, tied a record low. And so the Bears on offense now. Connor Shaw is a new quarterback, so Mitchell Trubisky's day is done. Trubisky's day is over. 10 of 14, 128 yards and a touchdown. That was a 45-yard hookup. He looked good today. And now Connor Shaw for the remaining 2:34. Back to throw. He goes over the middle. Got himself a completion to Michael Pruitt, the tight end. You know, there's one other storyline in the NFC, Charles, and that is the San Francisco 49ers,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Listen, I know the 49ers didn't have the year that they wanted to have last year. They only were 2-14, but there's a new regime there. And if we can be a little selfish here, our buddy and our pal and my partner for 4 years, John Lynch and the new GM, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, wish them both the best of luck in San Francisco. 2-minute warning in Tennessee. Bears had control here today. A good day for number 8 on the left. Subpar for the normally great Mariota on the right. As the Bears, with 2 minutes to go, lead the Titans 19-7. Also a good day for number 10, Trubisky. Again, he was against, for the most of his time in their second and third team. Boy, he looked good too. So the Bears will, they've been saying all along Glennon's going to be their guy week 1 in 2 weeks. I would assume they're going to stick with that because he played well today.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to doubt that after what we saw. I thought Jordan Howard coming back today after missing last week with an eye injury, I thought he looked really good.
2 minutes left in this one as Shaw will throw it. He's going to loft it up to the end zone and almost another catch and a touchdown for Tanner Gentry, but it was knocked away nicely by Ty Smith. Well, it's good to have the NFL on Fox back here today as we look at the replay, but who cares about the replay? Because our director, Artie Kempner today, who is coming off double knee replacement. This guy is fighting through it in the truck. Our producer, the great Pete Macheska, who couldn't get enough of the fight last night. Just loved every second of the fight last night.
I think he compared Mayweather to Sugar Ray Leonard.
He did. He did. We had, I'm kidding. Eric Mandia is our AD, also fill-in producer today. Mandia will get some time as well as Tyler Dare. Peter Greasy on graphics, who's getting a chance in a big seat this year. Good job, Gracie. Jeff Nelson, our stat man in the booth. Mitch Smith, our spotter up here.
Celebration there. Darren Bates back in his home state of Tennessee, picking up that fumble recovery. Coming in from Oakland, previously with the Rams. Special teams guy. Back home in the Volunteer state.
Hey, don't forget, Bengals Redskins is coming up next, and then Pam Oliver will probably get a couple interviews post-game with 1 or 2 of the funsters for the Bears, so want to stick around for that one. They're reviewing something at this point. So here's John Fox coming off a 3-13 campaign. Look, I think the Bears are better. I mean, I think when you combine the fact that hopefully the quarterback is more stability. They had all the injuries last year. They get good production there. And the fact that Vic Fangio defense with 11 turnovers, I don't see that happening again.
No, we asked Vic if he did anything different this offseason in camp to talk about creating more turnovers, and he's like, no, because we do that all the time anyway. We just need players who go out and get them.
Well, look, we're not going to say that the Bears are going to be what the Cowboys did, okay? But this came up in conversation with them just casually. And I think it bears noting, because, look, Dallas, you forget, 2014, Romo got hurt. Cowboys used 4 quarterbacks, okay? And
wasn't Matt Castle one of them?
He was one of them, okay? You know, their turnovers, they didn't get any. They turned it over a ton. They were 4-12 on the year. Last year, guess what? They found 1 quarterback, okay? They didn't turn it over, and they were 13-3.
Stability, it's a big deal.
So that's what the Bears are dealing with. And with Mike Mularkey, I think he's already come in and changed the culture, which is pretty impressive.
This culture's changed, very much so.
But, you know, this team isn't thinking, hey, let's get back in the playoffs anymore, are they?
No, they're talking about being in the playoffs and having the ability to do damage in the playoffs. Now, they have to get to the first hurdle. There's the general manager, John Robinson. In his second year, he's run 2 drafts now that I think have been very productive for this franchise. Excellent free agency, free agent targets, picking up a Logan Ryan, a Jonathan Cyprian in the secondary. Derek Decker is a wide receiver. Now they just need to put it all together because they're no longer hunting, right? They're part of the hunted.
No question.
And that's a different mindset and people coming after you. Remember, 2-4 last year in their own division cost them the opportunity to go to the playoffs.
They've honestly been terrible in the division. I mean, they've beaten the Colts, what, 1 of the last 16 times they have. So that's where it's got to change. And if they do that, they'll be a playoff team. Here's Fluellen. Looking to make this team as a 3rd down back. Good special teams performer. Minute 17 to go. Over the middle and a completion. Kevin Maben makes the catch. Near side. Did he get his feet in bounds? He did not. Delaney Walker trying to urge the call on there for his fellow big man, but no good.
See the push right there by number 43, Rashad Reynolds. Helped keep Maben from getting that second foot down in bounds. None of that force out stuff, right? Remember that old rule?
Oh, yeah.
None of that. You got to come down and get it done.
50 seconds to go. Dump to Fluellen over the middle. He's got a first down. Titans will hurry it on up. And we get a penalty flag. Haven't had any of those today.
He said facetiously?
Yes. Just a little bit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 69. Piled on a player that was already on the ground. 15 yards enforced from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
He's down on the ground. Watch right there. Goes ahead and tries to bury him and finish him. Tyler Meredith, who became a starter today because Quentin Spain, the starting left guard, got kicked out of the game. He was ejected for fighting. And Meredith moved into that left guard spot early in the contest.
Danny letting it rip. Incomplete. Final 35 seconds to go. And, you know, this has got to be so unique today for our new guy, Dean Blandino, who, like every Sunday, you're like in the command center in New York. You're watching all these monitors. Now you're at the game. This is just throwing you for a loop today.
You know, I thought there wasn't going to be as much pressure as in my old job, but there definitely is. There was a lot of stuff today.
It's because everything that happens, you know, we're spoiled. We usually don't have everything that happens. Charles, I go, Dean,
can you help us out here?
Can you? What do you think? What do you got?
And you did.
You did.
And here's one of the things that, you know, I pride myself on working hard at my craft like everyone else does. learning something from Dean today off camera about where a call will come from. If you see a flag come from certain officials, this is what they're looking for. There's a holding call that I misidentified earlier in the contest. It came near it, and Dean had said, listen, this is what they're looking for. This is how you do it. So I've got something.
We definitely
the phone calls will still come.
I think the coaches are still calling.
No, there's no doubt.
There might be a couple, one or two.
You might get one or two. Well, Dean, it's great to have you with us. And certainly we're lucky to have you for our college football coverage, too. Charles, good to have our first ride together, my man.
Yes,
Look forward to a fun year with you.
Thank you very much. Look forward to having the opportunity to return. I know the vote will be taken post-game, so we'll see how it turns out.
Coming your way shortly after the conclusion of this one. Looks like one kneel down, and then we'll take it to the house. Carissa Thompson is waiting patiently to take it from us back in Los Angeles. And she will get a chance to do that in a moment. That'll do it here from Nashville. The Bears take down the Titans 19-7. For Pam Oliver, Dean Blandino, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt for our entire NFL on Fox crew. Thanks for watching. Carissa Thompson, we send it back to you in LA.